Hi guys, and welcome to Shay Rob once again, and thank you for tuning in, and don't forget to check out all my other videos on my channel, like and subscribe and all that kind of thing, and hit that little bell icon so you get a notification of when I'm doing the videos and when I'm on, and so on and so forth. So all of that said, what are we talking about today? Well, I've tried for a long time to compile all of this, and my trusty yellow pad and pen is always with me, and I'm making notes and trying to find a way of making this more concise, but it's so difficult. And anyone who knows me, that when I'm doing these things to camera, so any drumming DVDs I've made or filming for various drum companies and so on, I usually end up doing a bit of a Ricky Gervais and just corpsing and laughing, and they say, Rob, you've got 3 lines to read, you know, that's it, and then play, that's the easy bit. But I always end up throwing extra bits in or trying to ad lib, and anyway, and I've tried to script this and I'm just finding it so difficult. So in true Rob fashion, I thought I would just, in the edits, maybe shorten it down a little bit and hit the bullet points, and we'll see how that goes, because you're watching it now, so let's find out. And you might want to get yourself a cuppa or maybe something stronger, and sit down and maybe get some crisps and stuff, and just get ready and strap yourself in for this ride, because even finding a title for it was difficult. Now there's a video, and I've got to check, it's 19th of August it came out, it premiered, and it was called New Concepts in Drumming, and I'm just reading that off my laptop. And this is kind of like a sister video to that in a way. And if you haven't seen that first one, please go and check it out. And you can do that now if you like. I'll just wait. So yeah, good job I never tried to get into comedy, right? Anyway, so if you haven't seen that, maybe stop this, go and see that, and then come back, or just sit there and listen to this one first, and then maybe check that one out afterwards. So I don't know why I'm even looking at this, because I'm really not sure where to start. It could start anywhere. It could start with the comment, but you're just a drummer. It could start with something like, it's okay, you only hit things. It could start from another band member saying, it's okay for you, you're just the drummer, or you just play the drums, you know, that kind of thing. And there's a plethora of different comments. And as I'm getting older, I'm starting to see the drums in a very different way. You know, when I was younger, and obviously I'm on Instagram and everything, and I see all these young drummers, you know, pounding away on the drums, pouting at the camera and doing their thing, and wow, and it's great, and that's brilliant, and they're awesome. The guys are there, you know, they got their tops off and they're showing their muscles, you know, and the girls are there all doing their thing, all made up and everything. You know, and I guess they want to get likes and subscribers and so on and so forth. And I'm sure back in the day, if that technology was around then, I'm so old, then I probably would have got in the game as well. Then you've got your studious guys and gals that sit there and play very sort of learned things, and that's cool too. And then there's that approach. And then there's the random ones with cameras at weird angles because they've just thought of an idea and they want to get that out on film and out in the ether. That's, you know, and it's all good. And I guess at 52, and this started happening 10 years ago, like, you know, so obviously 42, I can do a little bit of math still. I was starting to think how I sat in all of that as a drummer, not with the bands I play in, but just me sat with a set of drums, whether it's the big rig like in this picture that you can't quite see behind me, or whether it's just a 4-piece jazz kit, you know, with a couple of cymbals or whatever. You know, what do the drums mean to me? Maybe that's what it should be called. You know, how's my attitude changed towards the drums, and why? And so I don't want to repeat what I did in the new concepts, drumming concepts video, because that'd be daft. So I want to sort of hit on some other things. I want to hit on the fact that I was inspired by so many musicians, people like Paul Motion, Bill Evans, the piano player, Ritchie Blackmore, I found certain phrases that they played melodically really struck a chord. Forgive the pun. Really struck something inside me that made me not only enjoy it as the listener, but made me want to think, how can I do that on the drums? Right, so another scenario. We're at Glastonbury. The guitar riff or the keyboard riff or the horn riff starts the song. People are already jumping up and down. But before that sea of heads really starts pumping up and down, what needs to happen? That's right, kick drum, drums. The minute the drums come in, giving that response, to the riff, then the crowd respond, then they start jumping up and down, and then we're off. I'm not saying that, a riff played by any melodic instrument doesn't get people up and down. It does, but it isn't until the drums kick in. So we see how important that is, that connection between people, rhythm, communication, and the drums. Drums and voices are the oldest instruments. They go back to the start of, humankind. And I think that's why a lot of drummers and singers get on. There's something in that, but that's for a whole nother thread. I'm thinking I hear, for instance, and I can't play any music on here because of copyright, but there's an album by Miles Davis called Kind of Blue, which is the biggest selling jazz album, I think, of all time. And it works as a kind of coffee table album that you could throw on just at a dinner party, but the playing on it is stellar. So you could sit with a bunch of musicians and just stroke your chins listening to it and being blown away by it, because it's just amazing. And not many albums cross the streams like that. Never cross the streams, that's Ghostbusters. Anyway, we digress. This is not an 80s film chat. Rob, get with it. See what I mean? This is why I get in trouble. And there's a solo on a track called Flamenco Sketches, and it's when Bill Evans starts his solo, 30 seconds of that solo, the line he plays on the piano, there's very few notes, but every time I hear it, even now at 52, I still get a bit of a tear in the eye and the hairs go up on the back of my neck. It's incredible. It's not just he could have put anything in there, he could have put a whole run of notes, but he chooses to play very, very choice notes and in a very interesting rhythm, especially in the second phrase. And again, I wish I could play it on here, but I don't want to risk that, this being taken off, obviously. But I want to try and connect the same way that Bill Evans connected to me in that run of beautiful notes in that ballad. I'd like to be able to do something on the drums that do that. Now, at this juncture, you could stop and say, Rob, just go and pick up a blimmin' guitar or a piano. Don't pick it up, it's heavy, but play the piano and get out your system. Play another instrument. But in a way, yes, I get it, and maybe you're right. But my challenge in this latter part of my life is to somehow try and make the drums connect in that way emotionally, as well as fists in the air emotionally, as well as playing a slow groove for a ballad, or playing a bossa nova that makes people dance. They're things that we can get, they're attainable quite quickly. This, I feel I'm taking something on, and this is where I'd like some feedback from you guys. Am I crazy to be thinking like this? Is it a foolish endeavour? Obviously, this doesn't go into my band playing. That's a different thing, which I'll because this isn't scripted. Maybe I'll get to that later in this video. This is more about me expressing myself on the drums. This is a bit like when I'm doing my Sunday drumming rambles and my pad videos. This is all the content. They're like the chords, or the keys to get me into something I'm trying to get to. And thanks for the feedback on those and the likes and stuff. I do appreciate it. So that's kind of me trying to get into that. And let's say it's subjective. I might play something on the drums with some mallets that people go, oh, you're feeling mellow, it's moody. And other people might look at it and just go, that's boring. Where's the groove? So in a way, I'm kind of forgetting that it could be a Kobayashi Maru. It could be a no-win scenario. I'm not sure if I ever say that right. Sorry, Star Trek fans, if it's slightly wrong. But I don't want to cheat it like Kirk did. I want to face this head on and be inspired by these musicians. And Cecil Taylor, he's another musician that is kind of a free musician but knows all the rules to play in and decides to play out. And Coltrane is another one. And I watched the documentary, All the Notes, Cecil Taylor. That's available online and stuff. That is amazing, and some of his thought processes connect with me. Some of the stuff Bill Evans talks about in his documentary when he's talking to his brother about it's early 60s, a great black and white clip, and he's talking about his playing. And even though I know these are on melodic instruments, it talks to me and says to me that there's something still to be had from it. And all of these rambles I do, not just this one, but the drumming rambles and pad work, it's all trying to aim to that. So, as I say, if you guys have got anything you'd like to add to this, positive, negative, or indifferent, then please do, because I think this is important. I think drums kind of need another direction from just like, wah, or studious playing. There's somewhere to meet in between. It's like having both, because I feel I can do both. When I'm playing with when I was playing with Susie Sue back in the day, I could rock out with the best of them, and then when I'm playing with Lorena McKinnon, I'm playing the Darabuka, I'm playing very sensitive grooves and Celtic rhythms and so on and so forth. I'm moving around, so I've got that. With jazz, I've got the brushes and all that, and my CV is quite eclectic, as you can see, and I like that. Like the artists that I follow, they're mostly their jazz ones down there at the minute. Oh, but we have got a krautrock album over there. But I've got a very eclectic taste, and I think, as I say, there's something to be found in a drummer trying to, yes, I say, not with their bands. That's a different role. Another pun. That's a different job altogether. This is more about what the drummer is doing when he or she is sat down behind the set and just composing and playing. And it's something that I wouldn't want everyone to do. I'm certainly not on here saying, that anything that anybody else does isn't valid. Of course not. That's not what I'm saying at all. This is kind of a personal quest, but I want to reach out to see if there's anyone else on that same kind of journey and what you've done and how your experience is in looking at drums in that way. And when I look at the drum kit, I guess this is another facet now. Moving on, I mentioned very briefly in the new concepts video, but I really trying to look at them as individual items when I'm improvising and I'm just playing or composing on my own. The bass drum has got a tone. The toms have got different tones, top toms. The floor toms have got different tones. The snare I'm using has different tones. The cymbals, the harmonic of the cymbal scrapes with the brush, doing that thing and rubbing your thumb and finger over the floor tom to get that conga whale noise, or the stick, like a needle on a record going around the cymbal, getting that horror noise, like that. Pitch bends with your elbow, all this stuff, that could be seen as pretentious twaddle, and I've certainly had a few comments on some of my clips. I always like them and say thanks, saying various comments, which I may put up now or I may not. They always make me laugh, and that's fine. But as I say, this is my quest. This is what I want to do. How do I make that drum kit speak? How do I communicate? And looking at drumming through all the different cultures, that's obviously helped me as well. All of it adds, and it's all in there, and it's all flying around and trying to come out in a way which I'm not sure if I'm succeeding or not. Again, maybe you guys could tell me, do these rambles make sense? Are they just twaddle, or are they making sense to somebody? So, as I say, please contact me and let me know if you're going through a similar, it's not a struggle, but it's an interest that goes along with my professional band playing. And I think in New Concepts, I talk a little bit about how that's influenced my band playing. So I don't want to, I've got a feeling I want to go into that now, but I'm going to leave it for that video because it's already been done. But some of those concepts will help you with your band playing as well. So it's something that I remember talking about with Don Lombardi from DW Drums many moons ago, saying I was trying to, there was two different concepts. The other one I haven't quite introduced to these videos yet. There's another one as well. But just this emoting on the drums and working on how we do that and how successful we can be at doing that, and looking at it as another train of drumming thought along with all the other stuff that we talk about. That communication, because it's such an instrument that communicates, as I say, from the dawn of time. Drum can, in certain cultures and in certain times of signal, love, peace, war, all kinds of dinner's ready, all kinds of stuff. Even up to this present day where we kick that bass drum, as I say, and then thousands of people, or two people if you're in a pub, and a dog, with the paw in the air. Whatever, we've all been there. All of it is communication. It's coming from the drums, and I think that's one cool way, and making people dance, all this stuff I've just said. But I think there's another thread to be found. So I'm looking at my list. I could probably go on about other stuff, but I want to kind of finish it there because I feel that's reasonably top and tailed it. I'll probably think of something else the minute I turn it off. But if you're of a mind like me and been thinking about it or whatever, please leave some comments, because I just think there's something in it. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Thank you for watching. As I say, please like, subscribe, all the usual things. Hit that bell for notifications. Please leave some comments. As I say, positive, negative, or whatever, because I just think this is a fascinating concept and idea, and I'd love to know who else is on board. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Take care. Keep drumming. Keep loving music. Keep loving each other and staying safe, man. And I'll see you soon.